The old man frantically fled to the rooftop and bolted the door behind him, but the monster wasn't ready to give up. The iron door was battered and bent out of shape. With the door about to give way, the old man jumped off the rooftop in a panic. Grabbing onto a crane as he fell, he looked up and saw the monster staring right at him. Terrified, he lost his grip and fell. But from the monster's perspective, dealing with a corpse was a lot easier than a live person. The fresh meat, weighing over 100 pounds, was dragged straight into the sewer. A boy witnessed everything, but he didn't tell his family. Instead, he slipped into his room under the cover of darkness. Bathed in moonlight, the once sacred statues inside the church now looked terrifying. The boy wasn't scared at all. He started tapping a spoon to make noise. Soon the monster's shadow emerged from the darkness. At first, Peter didn't pay much attention until his wife called. She said someone had broken into their home and stolen an animal specimen. It turned out the specimen was something Susan had bought from a child. This insect was huge and extremely aggressive. But what really worried Susan was the insect's secretions. After testing and comparing samples, she realized the bug was something they had created themselves. Before Susan could study it further, a mysterious stranger snatched it away. They knew this was no ordinary situation. The next day, they tracked down the child who said the insect had been found in a locker room at the subway station. When they went to check the locker room, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. But when Susan opened a closet, a falling bead sparked an idea. Peter used the beads to test the basement's depth. He wanted to see what was underneath the cabinet, but didn't realize his actions would cause irreversible damage. At just the wrong moment, his flashlight slipped and fell. Luckily, the station manager called them out just then. Without the proper permits, they were kicked out. At the same time, two boys decided to explore the subway tunnels again. As they entered a storage room, they suddenly stepped into some unknown liquid. Following their flashlights to the end of the room, they discovered insect egg sacs. The boys squatted down and tapped one. Sure enough, there were bugs inside. Before the boys could celebrate, a terrifying roar came from nearby. Panicked, one of the boys got his leg tangled in a wire. Just like that, the two kids vanished into the tunnels. The next day, the sewage treatment plant's filters started malfunctioning. Workers went down to clean the sludge and pulled up something horrifying. Susan rushed over when she heard the news. It was a decayed animal carcass that looked like a giant shrimp. Unsure of what species it was, she sent it to the lab for dissection. Experts guessed it was a social creature and a vicious carnivore. Susan immediately called Peter, urging him not to take any risks investigating further. But Peter had already arranged the permits and was heading back into the tunnels with his assistant and the subway manager.